All these various form factors the developers use for software engineering. Of course, you did the CLI, and now, last week you did the coding agent. You want to talk a little bit, Sam, as sort of the vision you have for how software engineering evolves, and actually how developers will use all these various form factors together.
Yeah, so Satya, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. In fact, the very first version of Codex, I think it was all the way back to 2021, one of the very first things we did together in GitHub. And we've been talking about how someday we'd get to a real agentic coding experience. And it's kind of wild to me that it's finally here. I think this is one of the biggest changes to programming that I've ever seen. But this idea that you now have a real virtual teammate that you can assign work to, that you can say, hey, go off and do some of the stuff you were just doing and increasingly more advanced things. At some point say I got a big idea, go off and work for a couple of days and do it. And that you can issue many requests in parallel, that you can be fixing bugs, implementing new features, answering questions about the code. This is like true software engineering task delegation. And I think it'll only get better from here, but this is just a tremendously exciting moment. It integrates very deeply with GitHub. You can give it access to a repo and an environment, and you can get some pretty amazing stuff